Hey guys, in this video I want to show you another example of how to solve an absolute value equation. But instead of showing you how to find two solutions, we're going to talk about an example of how to find one solution. Okay, I know this is a V, right? And there's usually two sides of the graph, but this scenario will have one answer. And this is how it works. So if you look at this scenario, we have 3 absolute value of x plus 3 minus 2 equals negative 2. Remember that the first and most important thing to do is to make sure that we leave this part by itself. We want to isolate the absolute value. We cannot remove the absolute value lines when there's stuff around it. So we first got to get rid of the negative 2 and the 3 so we can leave it by itself and then separate into the negative and to the positive. So let's get rid of that negative 2 right next to it. We need to get rid of this number and this number. So we're going to move this over to the right. And when we do, we're going to add 2 to both sides. Left with 3 absolute value of x plus 3 equals 0. This actually also cancels. Negative 2 plus 2 gives you 0. We're still trying to isolate the variable, right? We're still trying to isolate this piece by itself. So we got to get rid of that 3 that is in the front. We got to get rid of this piece. So since we're multiplying this times 3, the inverse operation is to divide by 3. So we divide the left and the right. And we're left with x plus 3 equals 0. Now that the absolute value is by itself, we can get rid of the lines and do the negative side and the positive side. Now, if you notice, we're dealing with 0. Can you really have a negative 0 and a positive 0? Not really, right? Now, I'm going to show you how it works, right? We're going to have x plus 3 equals negative 0 and x plus 3 equals positive 0. Just to show you how we have a negative and a positive, but the answer is going to be the same because there's really no negative 0. When we subtract 3 on both sides, negative 0 minus 3 is just negative 3. And then on the other side, subtract 3 on both sides, you get the same answer. See how we have two solutions, but it's still the same solution? This is how it's going to be just one answer. Now let's check our work, all right? It's always important to make sure that even if you find an x, that you always plug it into the calculator and check to see if the answers you got actually make sense. And the way we do that is, remember, we want to go to our original problem. The left-hand side is going to be considered one equation. We want to figure out, when is this equation on the left? When is this equation going to equal to negative 2 on the right? And on the right, I'm going to change colors for this. When is this function going to equal negative 2? So let's put this on the calculator as two separate problems, the blue side and the red side. Okay, on the left side, we have f of x equals 3 absolute value of x plus 3 minus 2. That's our absolute value function. And now we want to figure out, when is this function going to equal negative 2? Notice, right, zooming here a little bit, how the function intersects this other line at only one point, at negative 3, negative 2. And that's why we're trying to figure out, when is this function going to equal to 2? Well, that happens when x equals negative 3. We're always going to get two answers, but the answer is the same thing. And this is how you get one solution for the absolute value equations. I hope this helps. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions and I can explain some things further for you guys. And as always, I'll calculate later.